So I've got 3 things that I'd like to share with you that's going to help your small business grow, particularly online, of course. And as I go through these 3 things with you today, they're things I've learned myself as a small business from 2019 that I think is really going to help your business. And I've also got a couple of things I want to give you, particularly to subscribers that are with me at the moment. I want to, again, give you a couple of free offers that come purely from me trying to help you today. So thanks for joining me and welcome to Zane at Zanet Design. So I'm Zane from Zanet Design and I help businesses like yours grow. So if you're an entrepreneur or you have a small business and you want to grow it online, even in a local business way, then hopefully some of these tips I'm going to give you today will help you, because they're tips that I've gained by really perhaps going through some pain barriers in 2019. So I'm sure this is going to help you too if you apply these tips I'm going to share with you today. So I recognise with my business that I wasn't advertising and my inquiries were mainly from referrals rather than new business. And you may find the same with your business, that you don't seem to be getting perhaps as many phone calls or fresh inquiries. And that's because of the competitive world we live in, particularly with other businesses and competitors perhaps are doing well online. You've perhaps not put your focus into your online presence. And now suddenly, like me, you realise that there was a need to do this. So what could I do to perhaps combat and improve my presence online? So I recognised that having fresh content online was important. I hadn't blogged on my website or put any news updates for many, many years. I had a great portfolio to show, had some fantastic photos, but no one was aware of them. And that was mainly because I didn't need to show new businesses this, because I was just getting enough referrals to come in. And then I spoke to a person and said, well, what about SEO, search engine optimization? Is it something I need to start thinking about? And he was really heavily into SEO. But his advice surprised me. And this is one of the first things I want to share with you. He said that search engine optimization isn't really anywhere near as important as it used to be. People used to do all sorts of tricks to trick Google and other search engines to think that their business was more relevant than the others. But through these trickeries and perhaps through spamming and so on, Google had managed to kind of work out that there wasn't really any authentic businesses doing the right thing. What Google wants is to produce or show a relevant business to the person that's searching for it. And so Google then really reinvented how you go about search engine optimization. So he surprised me when he gave me the answer, which is point number 1, Google My Business. He says, all my focus now is helping small businesses rather than do online optimization and link building and all sorts of farming from different PR websites, page ranked websites. He says, I've gone away from all that. What I do now is I try and help people to get Google My Business set up online. And I realized that was the same for me too. And so that's why you'll notice many of my videos are about what I've learned in the last 6 months about how you can get a better online business by optimizing your Google My Business reference or listing. So if you haven't already looked at some of those videos, because I'm kind of quite new to it too, they're all up to date, they're really useful. And if you apply some of those techniques I've used, you'll see suddenly you will get inquiries, particularly if you're in a perhaps more of a unique type of service. So for me as a web designer, of course, it takes time because there's a great competition. But having said that, already inquiries are now coming through. I'm showing up in the top 3 on several searches locally. And so I'm seeing now the benefits of the last 6 months of my work optimizing my Google My Business reference. So there's the tip number 1 then. SEO is really more about optimizing Google My Business rather than link building and gaining links elsewhere. That isn't to say you can't do those things, but maybe if you've been put off in the past, maybe you're worried about what they call black hat or white hat SEO. This is something you can do if you follow my videos. So hopefully that's been useful for you as tip number one. So another tip from 2019, where I've learnt the hard way, perhaps for your benefit, was I hadn't really embraced video at all. So as I started writing content and blogging for my website and thinking in terms of optimizing my website to find or to encourage more inquiries, I recognized by looking at other people's websites how more informative they were, because often they had a how-to video on how to do something. And as I started to try and learn more, I found I was watching more and more YouTube videos. And I've never really been into YouTube. My wife, she was following perhaps influencers and people that she was interested in. And as she was watching more and more of YouTube, I suddenly realised that YouTube is actually quite a useful tool. But I didn't like the idea of being on video. And I kind of felt in some ways I've been forced into making videos to try and kind of grow a new audience, an audience that can really learn more about what I'm learning, but at the same time be engaged with me. And I suddenly realised that what YouTube does or videos do is it means people can gain trust. They can see who you are. So if you're a trustworthy web designer, then people can now see that. They can get to kind of almost know who you are before they commit or make an inquiry. And so I started to realise how YouTube was becoming more essential. But what's interesting as well is that YouTube is owned by Google. So if you're working to build up this optimization within Google, having YouTube videos is always going to go down well with the search engine rankings. And you'll see videos is certainly growing in its strength. So someone then said to me, do you realize that the first search engine in the world is Google? Obviously. But do you realize that the second biggest search engine in the world is YouTube? And that was quite a shock. And that's when I started to embrace making videos. So there's my second tip for you, is if you're a business, say you're a plumber, an estate agent, maybe you're a mechanic, and you're trying to build up interest in your local business website, then maybe just having an introductory video of who you are, or what you do, or the services you can offer, or a special offer through a video, those things break down barriers. It also means people are more engaged on your website. And Google has metrics to know that if someone's engaged in your website, it then sees it as a relevant website for the audience, and therefore it ranks it higher. So they're all kind of tightly knitted together, but you can't ignore using video in 2020, as I learned in 2019. And here's a few stats for you. Google every second has more than 50,000 searches. More than 50,000 searches every second. And yet also YouTube every day has 30 million people using it. So these are the big hitters now when it comes to contacting your online presence with the right clients, customers and audience. So there's my first tip. Now, you may already have subscribed to me, but you'll notice that I've not been going that long actually when it comes to making videos. It was something I put off for some time. In fact, only 4 months ago was my first video made on this channel. And from that time now I have a few hundred subscribers, and that's growing every day. So I'm not really doing YouTube to get subscribers or a following, but I'm doing YouTube to just be relevant and to gain more traffic and to improve my small business techniques. And that's something you can do as well. So if you want to know how to do that, then simply follow the videos that I'll put above now, and you can then see how you can grow your YouTube channel. Now, talking about videos, they often say that you need to make it a niche type of video. So you need to kind of concentrate on one thing rather than a scattergun situation. And that's probably my challenge I have at the moment. One of the things I like to ask you subscribers to help me with is, what is it that you're particularly wanting to hear in these videos? Many of my videos have been about Google My Business, which is the first thing we mentioned. On the other hand, as a web designer, you may be just wanting to run your business and need some help. And so you're not employing a web designer, but you're trying to kind of maintain your business website yourself. So do you need perhaps areas there, maybe with WordPress, Photoshop, MailChimp, marketing, Is it online marketing you're interested in? Is it SEO you're interested in? Is it using Google My Business to grow your business locally? They're all kind of conversations and discussions that I really need feedback from you. So if you can put comments down below, or even email me or contact me via my website, that'd be really useful so that I can then know what videos to produce in the future that will please the audience that's following me at this time. So thank you for that. The third thing I'm going to talk about is regarding, it kind of led from YouTube in many ways. When I was starting to build up my YouTube videos, I also wanted to find a way of auditing and showing online how I audit people's websites. And right from the start, as much as this would be a paid way of doing it, it would be something that I would charge for consultancy, and I've charged for in the past, I also felt that actually my audience could really learn from me taking someone's website, a real website, and then kindly critiquing it. So I pull out some good things about it, but also some things it could work on. And what was interesting by doing this, I learned a lot more about the obvious failings that most businesses are making at this time. So you'll notice online again, if you go to one of my channels, you'll notice, and I'll put a link to it for you, you'll notice there that there's several audits I've done. And as you watch them, you'll kind of get the idea of the types of common mistakes that people are making. Now, the reason I mention this is because I also had an audit done on my YouTube channel, which was by vidIQ. And they were saying on that channel, there were various things I needed to work on. And while they said that, they actually said, and then we notice you do audits, why not audit our website? And that's one of the videos that's on there, an audit of vidIQ's website. But while I was auditing these websites, I noticed how some of them weren't always mobile friendly. Some of them weren't always compatible with perhaps some of the speed tests that Google recommends. And so these are kind of areas where being mobile compatible, fitting a speed test that means that most people can visit using a mobile. These are things that Google's really been keen on seeing change in the recent years. And so in 2019, I learned really that I needed to start auditing my website and also recognize the need for speed, mobile compatibility, and usability. And so I started offering free audits of people's websites and then made the video and then showed the video on my YouTube channel. So there's my offer for you. That's the third thing really, is you need to look at your website, perhaps get someone as an outsider to look at it, analyze it, and then make the changes. Now I've done that for my website, but I'm also at the moment offering that for you. So if you're a small business and you've been following me and you like the advice I've been given, and then you've perhaps seen one or two of the audits I've done, then at the moment, and I can't obviously promise this to everyone because it may be that eventually I'm inundated, but at the moment, as it stands, if you want to visit my website, I'll put the link down below where you can register your website. I'll then randomly take some and I'll try and do some audits, and then those will be then presented as a video audit online on this channel in the coming weeks and months ahead. So there's my other offer to you. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that, a chance for me to critique your website and to give you some clear direction of what you could do. If it's a business website and you own the business, then that's fine. By all means, register that on the link below. So hopefully that's been useful. Hopefully that's going to, again, those are the three things that I'd say, the main three things that stood out for me in 2019 that's really changed my habits of how I'm running my small business. And hopefully that will help you too. I look forward to seeing you again, but make sure you follow or use one of these videos now to now continue to grow your business in the coming weeks, months and years.